Hello, this is Rishabh Sinha, and in this video, I'm going to demonstrate about what is Azure Storage Account and how you can implement and manage storage accounts on Azure. So, Microsoft provided a smart solution for modern day storage problems, which is Azure Storage. And with data growing day by day, we need to upscale our methods of storage as well. Azure Storage provides massive scalability along with security, durability, and much more. Now, let us look at the features of Azure Storage Account. As I mentioned before, Azure Storage is the modern day solution to all storage problems. Its storage capacity is limitless virtually. Being a pay as you go model, it gives you the flexibility of paying only for what you have used. And Azure Storage Services support different clients like .NET, Ruby, Java, etc. What gives developer an option. Now, let us look at the features of Azure Storage Account. Well, the first one is durability and high availability. Stored data is replicated and kept in different geographical locations in Azure Storage Account. Hence, in the case of any hardware failure, you have your replicas safe and so your data. Also, if there is any natural disaster, your data will remain secure and you can avail them pretty easily. Talking about the scalability part, scalability, Azure storage is massively scalable depending on the requirements, and data can automatically be scaled up to accommodate any peak demands. Accessing any information by an intruder from your storage is not an easy task, and hence your data is secure. Azure Storage uses a shared key model to authenticate a user, and the usage of SAS token, or you can say shared access signature, can restrict access to data. Also, you can access your data from anywhere over HTTP or HTTPS. You can write your code on your Azure PowerShell or on Azure CLI. And there are tools like Azure Storage Explorer and Azure Portal that provide you with an easy way to work with your data. Now, let us see different types of Azure storage services, which are Azure Blob Storage, Azure Queue Storage, Azure Table Storage, and Azure File Storage. Now, let us quickly discuss these storage briefly. First one is Blob Storage. So, Blob stands for binary large object, and it includes text files, images, audios, and videos. So, Azure Blobs is a service that stores massive unstructured data that can be accessed from any place via protocol like HTTP or HTTPS. Azure Blobs can be used for storing files for your shared access, videos and audio streaming, storing data for analysis services, writing to the log file, or storing data for disaster recovery, backup, and archiving. Well, there are three types of blobs which I would like to discuss. The first one is blob. Well, it is an accumulation of small blocks that have their own unique block IDs. One blob can contain up to 50,000 blocks. You can work parallelly by uploading multiple blogs at a time, which decreases the upload time. And the size of single blob is slightly higher than the normal, which is 4.75 terabyte. So the total size is you can calculate 100 MB into 50,000 blobs. It will be your total size. So in blob, you can insert, delete, and replace blobs. Talking about the append blob also comprises blocks, but when you modify these blobs, new blocks are added at the end. Here you can update or delete any existing blocks, and the unique ID is kept a secret. Whereas in blob, unique ID are exposed, and at last page blob. So they are comprised of 512 bytes pages that are optimized for arbitrary read and write operations. And to create a page blob, You must first define the maximum size of the blob, and you can then add or update the content of the page blob. Uh, to be like for the note, the maximum size of page blob is 8 terabyte. So let us quickly see other storage types. The next one is Azure Files or file services. It provides Azure File Storage. It provides managed file sharing in the cloud. Applications on Azure can easily share files between the virtual machines, and they are accessible via SMB. Azure file storage can be used in the scenarios like replacing on-premise file servers, making lift shift of applications easy to the cloud, and offering both classic and hybrid lift and shift, or simplifying cloud development with the diagnostic shared application settings and dev test debug. Anything you can, you can share these tools and utilities between different virtual machines via shared drive. uh, Talking about Azure Queue Storage. So Azure Queue Storage is a service for storing large number of messages. Queue message can be up to 64 KB in size. A queue may contain million of messages up to total capacity limit of storage account. Also, queues are commonly used to create a backlog of work to process asynchronously. It carries message from Azure web role to the Azure worker role. So it can be used if you want to decouple application components and use asynchronous messaging to communicate between them. Let's talk about Azure Table Storage. Well, Azure Table Storage service stores structured NoSQL data. It is a schemaless, that is uh, that is the data does not have a fixed structure. You can easily store data sets that do not require any joins or foreign keys. You can denormalize them to make quicker access, and you can scale up the tables based on your requirements. So common uses of table storage include storing terabytes of structured data capable of serving web scale applications, or storing data sets that don't require complex joins, foreign keys, or stored procedures, and can be denormalized for the fast access. Also, you can use table storage for quickly querying data using a clustered index, and it can be used if you want to store flexible data sets like user data for web applications, address book, device information, or other type of metadata your service requires. So now let us see different types of storage account. Azure Storage offers several different types of storage accounts. Each type supports different features and has its own pricing model. There are four types of Azure Storage account, which is divided by performance tiers, standard and premium. In standard comes general purpose V2. Uh, it is a storage account type for blobs, file shares, queues, and table, and is recommended for most scenarios using Azure Storage. And note that if you want to support for NFS file share in Azure files, then we will use premium file shares here. Then in premium storage account type comes premium block blobs, which is storage account for block blobs and append blobs. It is recommended for scenarios where high transaction rates is involved, or scenarios that use smaller objects or require consistently low storage latency. There is premium file share. It is the premium storage account type for file shares only, which is recommended for enterprise or high performance scale application. You can use this account type if you want a storage account that supports both SMB and NFS file shares. And the last one is premium page blob, which is a premium storage account type for page blobs only. Okay, let me also explain you about the redundancy options. Azure Storage always stores multiple copies of your data so that it is protected from planned and unplanned events, including transient hardware failures, network or power outages, and massive natural disasters. Well, redundancy ensures that your storage account meets its availability and durability targets even in the face of failures. Let me briefly explain the data redundancy options in Azure Cloud Storage. Data availability in is business critical for most organizations, and data in Azure is replicated to ensure that it's always available, even if data center or region become inaccessible or a specific piece of hardware fails. In Azure Storage, you have several options for replication, and each replication options provide a different level of redundancy and durability. The choice you make depends on the level of resilience you need. Let us talk about LRS. LRS copies your data synchronously three times across separate racks of hardware within a single availability zone and inside the primary region. LRS protects your data against several rack and drive failures or if maintenance work is happening in the data center. However, LRS doesn't protect you from a data center wide outage. If a disaster such as fire or flooding occurs within the data center, all replicas of storage account using LRS may be lost or be unrecoverable. So LRS is the least expensive replication and offers the least durability compared to the other options. And it is not recommended for applications that require high availability or durability. Whereas talking about ZRS copies your data synchronously across three availability zones in primary region, and each availability zone is a separate physical location with independent power, cooling, and networking. If one availability zone is experiencing outage, your data remains accessible from availability zone in the same Azure region. With the ZRS, your data is still accessible for both read and write operations, even if a zone becomes unavailable. And Azure undertakes networking updates such as DNS repointing. ZRS can't protect your data from regional level outages as all availability zones are in single region. And here comes GRS. So it copies your data synchronously three times within single availability zone in the primary region using LRS, and it then copies your data asynchronously to the single physical location in your secondary region, which is a paired region. And within the secondary region, your data is copied asynchronously three times using LRS. And if your primary region is experiencing an outage, your secondary region is available for use. And with GRS, the data is the secondary region isn't available for read and write access unless there is a failure to secondary region. But what is RAGRS? And with GRS, your secondary region isn't available for read access until the primary region fails. And when failover starts, DNS entries that point to the primary regions are updated to point to the secondary region. So if you want to read from secondary region, even if the primary region hasn't failed, uh, you should use RAGRS for your replication type. And when you use RAGRS, you need to ensure that your application knows which endpoint it is interacting with, and the secondary region has secondary dash secondary appended to the name of the endpoint. And RAGRS is ideal for applications which require high availability. Talking about GZRS, and GZRS combines the high availability benefits of ZRS with GRS, and it copies your data synchronously across three availability zones in the primary region using ZRS. And it then copies your data asynchronously to a single physical location in the secondary region. And within the secondary region, your data is copied synchronously three times using LRS. This way, your zone redundant data is also secured from regional level outage. And with GZRS or GZRS, but lets you read, uh, sorry, if we talk about RAGZRS, and it RAGRS uses the same replication method as GZRS, but it lets you read from secondary region. So if you want to read the data that that is replicated to the secondary region, even if your primary isn't experiencing downtime, then you can use RAGZRS there for your replication type. So like RAGRS, when read access to the secondary is enabled, your application can be read from secondary endpoint as well as from the primary endpoint. And the secondary endpoint append the suffix dash secondary kind of to the account name. And just for the note, Azure file does not support RAGRS and RAGZRS. So read access types of storage redundancy is not available for Azure files. Now let's move to the lab part where I will show you how you can create and manage storage account on Azure.